counter is one of your mainstays as far as the running scheme in your offense, showing you yet again another wrinkle that you can add into your counter scheme to make it that much more potent. What's up, coaches? This is Coach Ross with Coach Ross Football. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for coming back to the channel if you're not new here. But if you are new here, this channel is dedicated to the spread offense. We talk mainly about the air raid. We talk about passing schemes, running schemes, blocking techniques, anything and everything you can imagine to make yourself a better coach with using the spread offense or utilizing the spread offense. Then this is the channel for you. So if that is what you have been looking for, please consider hitting the subscribe button, and we're going to get into the video right now, breaking down another great concept. It seems like lately I've been just breaking down concept after concept, showing you new wrinkles and everything, and this video is no different. We are, again, going to be focused in on counter. So if you are a counter running team, if that is one of your mainstay runs, whether that is your hang your hat type of run in your offense, you have to find ways to protect you. You have to find ways to disguise it. You have to find ways to run it in different formations. But on top of that, you also have to have answers built into the play, especially if defenses know and teams know that you're going to see week to week are going to be, they're going to be, that you're going to be running counter a lot. And that's one of your, mostly used runs. Then, of course, they're going to be trying to stop it. They're going to be trying to load up to stop it. So what kind of answers do you have to take advantage of that space they're going to create by them trying to, for example, load up the box and try and stop your counter, and that's what we're going to break down right now. Perhaps you've noticed or not, but a lot of the videos that I've done lately have been geared around counter, and that is by design. That is strategic, because you've heard me say on this channel many times before that I like to keep the playbook small. Well, counter is one of those plays in my small playbook, but the goal is to have a small playbook, but to be able to show that same play in multiple different formations and make one play look like 50 different plays. But on top of that, having things built into that counter run to give you answers to what the defense does. Because especially if the defense knows that you are a heavy counter team, they are going to try and find ways to take that away from you. So then you have to have answers built into the play. So that's why lately I've been bringing you many, many different variations or things you can do or add into your counter scheme to protect it, so that you have those answers in case that defense is trying to take it away. And this video is no different. We're going to show you a version of counter here where you're in a tight bunch formation and you're going to run counter to the bunch formation. But on top of that, we're going to put a player in motion, and we're going to be able to run stick to the backside. And based on what the defense does, if they try and take the counter, you have the stick, and then vice versa. If they take away the stick or they run with motion, that gives you numbers in the box to run counter. Here is the breakdown of the play here. As you can see, we are in a tight bunch here. This is how I would imagine the defense would line up to this. Now, especially against me, most defenses know that I'm more of a passing-oriented offense, so 60-40 pass maybe. So typically we see a lot of too high safety. So I put the two high safeties in here. Maybe not. If you're more of a running team, you might see a single high, but we're going to show this in a two high because especially the film that I have is going to show you a two high look here. So essentially what we are going to do here is, first thing we are going to do is, again, we're going to try and run counter to this bunch side here, but we're going to put a player in motion. So we're going to try and create conflict on the backside and make the defense make a choice. And again, with most plays in our offense, we are forcing the defense into a decision, and whatever decision they make is going to be the wrong decisions because we have things built in to take advantage of their bad choices, their bad mistakes, and their bad decisions. We are first going to put our H in a fast motion towards Y here. He's going to be in fast motion. Eventually, he's just going to run a route that's going to take him into the flats here. Now, we are going to run counter the other way. So there are a couple ways you're going to block. You can block this. Now, again, I'm just going to show you the blocking schemes with the lineman first. So obviously he's going to pretty much carry. He could double here. He can help double here depending on what that nose tackle does there. Block down here with the center. He's got a kick out block for this end here. Our backside tackle is going to wrap, and he's going to pull through on this linebacker here. Now, a couple of things we can do with these two attached players here, a wide receiver. we could potentially have this wide receiver go and reach this corner and try and get on his inside shoulder to force him to the outside. And then we could either have our Z following behind him here or move to the inside and try and seal him off that way. Either way, basically, it kind of just depends on which way that player goes, or that defender goes, is the way he's going to force his block. Because we're trying to eventually force him to the sideline and try and create this running lane here. Now, if they show up in a too high safety shell like this, the numbers are already pretty good for the run. Now, granted, they do have about 7 in the box. They will have about 7 in the box, but we can move this defender right here pretty easily out. Now, the key to this is, what does the motion do? What does the motion do? What does that fast motion do? And what we are trying to do is we are essentially trying to see, does it influence this defender right here? Does he run out and go with that motion? If he does, well, then obviously we have better numbers, even better numbers there in the box to run counter, because now we've just removed somebody from the counter. Now, if he stays, if he doesn't really affect that, and this safety kind of rolls down, now we potentially have the stick. So now we can run stick to this opposite side here. And now if this defender doesn't move and the quarterback is sitting there watching this defender to see if he moves, if he doesn't move and he stays, he knows that he's primarily got stick to the outside. So then he just pulls the ball. And now his eyes, just like stick, go with this, because we're going to have this receiver essentially run a slant and sit, or almost a snag route right here into this wide open space right here. And now we are putting this defender right here in conflict. Does he run with a stick? Because then that creates the flat play right here. So it creates that opening. This safety more than likely would trigger off that fast motion, would try and roll down, but he would never be able to get to this flat, the flats in time before our running back has the ball, or excuse me, our slot receiver, in this case, one of my best athletes, putting in motion and a fast motion to the flats here. He's never going to get to that spot to make a play on that ball before that our receiver has the ball in his hands and he's moving upfield to try and make a play. And essentially, he's got the entire sideline to work with. So that's what we were trying to do. We were trying to make sure that we take advantage of the space and what decisions the defense makes, and does the defense make a wrong decision in what we are showing them. I'm going to show you 3 potential scenarios here with this play that potentially could happen that you could use. So we're training the quarterback to look, training him to watch the motion. So we're a motion man watching this defender here. What does he do? Does he chase? Because again, depending on what this defender does, will determine who he throws, whether it's to the H or whether it's to the Y here. We're on the stick. So again, we're taking advantage of this whole space here, making this defender wrong if this defender does not commit with the motion. So first scenario here is put him in motion. Corner stays with the receiver here. Safety tries to roll down to try and take the flats away, but it's not there in time. And he's up the field. Is that corner again still in conflict? Now has to make a choice and decides to drop back into his zone. So maybe they were playing a sort of a cover 3 type zone here. Drops back, but then sees that running back flashing out in the flats, runs down hard to get it. Receiver turns around, stops, and sits in that open space. Safety drops back into his zone, realizes what's happening, comes back down to try and take away that throw, but at that point it's too late. So it's an easy completion. Again, all predicated on this defender here not moving. Little scenario here now is, now this defender here is influenced by that motion. He sees it, he's triggered by that motion. He rushes out to try and stop and take away that motion. Safety stay back, tries to roll down, but again, it creates, by just moving that defender out of the box, creates more of a numbers advantage here in this point that we are trying to attack on the field with the counter to run the ball. And the quarterback makes a decision to hand the ball out because this defender removes himself from the box, and again gives us more of a numbers advantage. So here you can see Ohio State is running this exact same play against Western Michigan here, where they're going to put Carnell Tate here in a fast motion like I talked about. That you got probably the best receiver in the country, and Jeremiah Smith, who's going to strike fear in any defensive backfield in the country. So right now he's isolated one on one with this defender right here, this corner. So that motion, what does it do? It causes this corner just to hesitate for a split second, and now that's all the space that Jeremiah Smith needs to get the ball in this tight little, not even a tight little window here, but an easy little window here for Will Howard to see. Throws the ball and he makes a tight turn up the field, just like we talk about in the stick concept, to get upfield and score for a huge touchdown. But this goes the other way. But again, this defender right here is not influenced by that motion. So that gives Will Howard an easy read that he's going to fake this ball and then he's going to throw Jeremiah Smith based on what this corner does. Because again, this safety right here has no chance to get down and cover the flats and cover Carnell Tate unless this safety drops off, and then that gives you more window, more space for Jeremiah Smith. As you can see, it's a huge play, easy read for the quarterback, and they make it look routine. Well, remember, you are trying to manipulate the defense. You are running plays, and I've shown you about four now. This is probably the fourth video in the last 7 or 8 videos that I've released that has been on counter, but it's shown you different variations of counter because the counter is a staple in the offense. But now we are creating different variations. But now we are creating it with variations of things that we already do and do a lot of throughout the season, throughout the year, which is stick, stick is another staple in my offense. So therefore, we're getting a lot of reps at stick. We're getting a lot of reps at counter. And now you combine the two, and you are comfortable. Your team is comfortable. The your quarterback, the receivers, the running back. They all know what to read. The linemen know how to run their counter blocking schemes. So nothing changes. It's just now we're combining the two and giving it just a different variation of counter to where sometimes we show counter with the screen. Now we're going to show it with stick, or maybe we show it with a vertical or a hitch. Just different ways to protect one of your mainstay running plays in your offense. And again, combining it with certain things that you already do makes it that much easier to practice, makes it that much easier to execute. So hope you enjoyed the video. This is a again another counter video here, but counter is one of my favorite plays. But now I'm going to mix it with my favorite play, all time favorite play, which is stick. So can't ask for anything better than that. So if you like the video, please leave it a like. Also subscribe to the channel. Comment down below what you think of the video. Also comment down below if you do something different. I'd love to hear from you. Until then, see you in the next video.